honest.
Let me sit down. I'm here to check the microphones.
Is this them here?
That's them, the top.
This. Interesting. Check, check, mic check 1, 2. Sounds like it's working. Are we ready? Can we
Can't hear you now.
call to order the meeting? I got a thumbs up. All right. Call to order this meeting on, what is today? February 11th, 2020? Everybody? Doesn't somebody have to second that?
Second it.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Everyone does every time.
Whatever.
All right, let's do
Prayer.
the invocation and the pledge of allegiance.
Okay. Let's pray. People are often unreasonable and self-centered. Forgive them anyway. If you are kind, people may accuse you of other motives. Be kind anyway. If you are honest, people may cheat you. Be honest anyway. If you find happiness, people may be jealous. Be happy anyway. The good you do today may be forgotten tomorrow. Do good anyway. Give the world the best you have, and it may never be enough. Give your best anyway. For you see, in the end, it's between you and God. It was never between you and them anyway. We ask that you watch over us this day, and as we conduct this meeting, be conducted in a manner to be pleasing unto you. We pray for these things in his name. Amen. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Ooh, I forgot the sign-in sheet.
Shame on you.
Here, we'll just use this.
Fired.
Make our own.
She's gone.
Oh, really? Thank you.
Lucky you.
Chris, don't
Can I-
act like you wouldn't miss
Can I get to go
us.
home? I mean, is that like an official?
Like we have any authority to fire you. Let's get real. Oh, man, I left my pen. All right, public comment? Anybody?
Toast.
Nope, toast.
As usual.
As usual. Wouldn't that be exciting if someone came?
Gentlemen.
Oh, please.
Don't even.
Oh, okay.
Let's not.
Thank you. Oh, wait, that was you. Not to be off track. Okay. Let's move to approval of minutes.
I'll make a motion we approve the minutes as written that I had on my on the internet.
I'll second.
All right, awesome. Approved. All right, here we go. Crab member items and reports. Let's cap these three things together, the map, apps, and brochure. Does anybody have anything to discuss on them? Did anybody from council have anything to tell us for these items?
Did you get the email
Which
that
one?
Joanne Champ sent?
She sent one on the in-between about where we were with the app.
Yeah, but it also said that council didn't have anything on their agenda specifically for.
us.
Correct. So if I can intervene for just a second on a couple of these things, if you don't mind?
Please do.
Okay, so the the map, I've kind of gone back and forth on this, thinking that the map is in the app, or is it a separate map? I'm not really sure. Is
My question is.
there a map that was designed?
Gentleman that was not here, that is not here any longer, that quit, to sit here. I don't remember what his name was. Bill knew him. Mike. But he was asked to look into a map highlighting points on the beach, on the map that we maybe put where the bus stops are or something to show people where restrooms were, beach accesses and that kind of stuff. But I was under the impression that the map deal got niched whenever the
App.
app came
Right.
out, because it's all gonna be
Okay.
in the same thing, and that's good for putting them together. 'cause
And that's,
what they are.
that's kind of where I was going with this, was that the map, the app, and the brochures were kind of in one, because I think you took Bill Veach's brochure idea and put it in the app.
Correct.
And since we're not really getting anywhere because it's paper and we're not really sure where we're gonna put them, and then we're talking about having something at the bus stops, that I think, you know, I was kind of going in the direction of an all-in-one. So let's get on the app then, because that's kind of where everybody is wanting to know where we are. So on our side, on the town side, we have contacted Apple, and they have to go through the same process that they went through with you, Becky, where they actually call here and talk to Roger and get the approval that it's okay that the clerk's office does it. They have not contacted Roger yet. So we're waiting on Apple to contact Roger, and then we will be good to go. I was able to get into the app. I actually spent about 2 hours one day getting into that Appy Pie.
Yep.
Okay, messing with that and looking at the app and just seeing what it is. The PIO has been selected. Unfortunately, they have to relocate, and they cannot come in until April. Now, Roger talked to council and asked if we wanted to start the process all over again, or if we wanted to just stick to the decision that was made, and council said stick to the decision that was made. We want to wait for this person, they will be here in April, let's just hang on. So that's where that sits. We are working on getting the app in place, but we really want to give it to the PIO. That's the person we want to handle this, not staff. So that's where we are on those items. So we're moving, not as fast, I know, as some people would like, but we are moving in that direction.
Moving at government speed.
Yeah. Is the PIO going, like, I know some people in that job description will start getting familiar with stuff before they relocate because it's all internet-based? Are they letting them do that or just gonna wait? It doesn't
I'll
matter.
be
I'm
honest
just
with you,
curious.
I don't know. I sat down and had a long conversation with Roger about these items. I didn't really get into,
No, yeah, I was
you
just,
know,
it's not important, I was just curious.
yeah, I'm not sure, to
Do
be
we know
honest with
who
you.
it is, or is it still?
Y'all know me, if it's not utilities, I generally just, I don't,
I'm just
I
kidding.
don't know who,
I'm
what
just
other
kidding.
departments are hiring.
I don't know that it's actually been announced.
Yeah, it's still,
But the person is very highly qualified for the job.
Been around Michelle.
Roger's looking through the window, realizing it's
Oh, he
us,
ran
and
away.
deciding to run away from this meeting.
Man,
I'm just kidding.
I'm seeing if there's.
he's a smart man.
I'm just kidding. That's, I think that's
This
great
person
news.
should be able to hit the ground running.
Yeah, cool.
She's.
Steps are steps.
Yep.
Yeah, it's a she.
Yeah, baby.
I just wanted to make sure your microphones were all working.
Oh,
Thank you.
check mic two.
Yeah, see, it lights up when you talk.
That's cool.
Just make sure it's green.
Okay, you got it. Thank you.
That's a big change from before. It used to be red.
Yeah, and now it's green.
I'd take them.
We'll have to have a meeting about it. Yeah.
Know where that started?
Bill,
Bill,
Started
which
with Bill.
does lead, we'll get there, never mind.
Okay, so my question with that is, in speaking to Roger, was that his suggestion was to take some pictures of what your thoughts are. You've done that already?
Yeah.
Okay, and taken it to council?
Where this kind of discussion that even I had with Bill goes, which I think would help us have a more efficient and better group of doers. Bill discussed with me that at one point they were like, just find something you want to do and do it. But that's actually not what we're designed for and isn't allowed according, because this is the government. We're not a separate entity. If we wanted to find something and do it, we'd have to go be a community outside of this room, a community group. So we're actually, according to Summer, when she used to serve as the liaison, was telling me, we're not really allowed to do anything without being directed, which is the kind of catch, and I think why which the app was directed, it took, and I think it got done. And that might be part of why we get a lot of, let's do a statue, let's do some mural, it's like, kind of goes, some things are kind of halfway done. Am I making sense?
Making sense, but we were addressed to look at something for the Bayfront
Yeah,
going
Okay.
down, and
Because it
statutes
goes
was
back
one
on.
of them that
Okay.
they said to see. And so we were asked to do that, and we was also asked about the brochures.
Okay.
And we were asked about the war memorial. I don't know about and the murals we were asked about too, remember, because we
Yeah,
did looked at those, so.
I just wasn't
We've been
sure.
directed on those by council to do, it
Okay.
just is not going any farther than
Right, I wasn't
that.
sure because of the way that was explained to me was that, we just pick something and do it. And I'm like, I don't think we're actually allowed to do that.
Yeah, well, when I read in the minutes from the last council meeting, last CRAB meeting,
Yeah.
I noticed that someone requested that town council give us a direction on what they would like for us to do in 2020.
Yeah.
Because we're going into the third month, pretty close. And we're here.
Yeah.
We want to serve because this committee got down to 2 people and was almost completely dissolved.
Yeah.
When it's down to 2, it's not a committee, so we had to have at least 3. And then they started growing back, and then we were lucky enough to get some volunteers and your folks that join are really active, and it's great to serve with people that want to serve.
It's fun if we can
If
get
we-
some stuff done,
Don't waste your time.
which I think we've done. So if we've done what they've asked about statues and murals and here's some information, is there more they need from us, or? Yeah, how do we find, what's our next step?
Well, I think Roger said, if we have some ideas, have some actual photographs, drawings of what the idea is, and bring it to council for them to consider. All is in our court with that one.
That when council directs you to come up with an idea for something and you do that, then someone from this committee has to go back to council with that idea.
Okay.
And then, at that point, they decide to, give it to a staff member, put it on the agenda, whatever their decision at that
Okay.
point. So, I think that's where we are.
Would that be? And then
Initiated, so I don't recall exactly what he had in mind, but I got the impression
maybe he's.
that it was one of these things where years ago in Chicago, they had these painted cows all over the city, and then
Yeah.
some places had pelicans, I think.
I think we did Pelican. I've
Did-
seen those around town,
I don't know.
maybe Fort Myers.
But I believe that's what he had in mind.
if I look back on the email we got from Joanne Champ, it says, the work for the design of the Bayfront Square, which is where we were talking about the memorial and starting some statues and whatever, is within the design process and CRAB input has been sought and provided.
Oh, so we've already done that.
Yes, that's what I was
We've
saying.
done it.
We've already done
And
it.
the mural ordinance was something else, and that's, legal's working that out. Would be. Say so, that's what it said.
Yeah.
It's a great
I'm
font
ready.
you have on that thing. The font on your phone?
Yeah, that way I don't have to put my glasses on.
Did want to let you know that I have spoken with Jason Green about the murals. And it is in draft form currently. There's a lot of legal issues with this, the murals and the sign ordinance. So they're looking at probably March or April before they get that to council.
Yeah, we would wait until then to say,
Correct.
can't even do that until.
Exactly. And
You can just paint it.
I like the way you think. I'll meet you all in black at midnight tomorrow. Oh wait, is this being recorded?
yes, it is.
Just kidding.
So when you went before council,
Yeah.
and I'm pretty sure if I recall correctly, I think I had a meeting that I had to run to, but did you ask them?
Yes.
Okay.
Honestly, I just said, it was like a lot, because after we were decided that I would speak to council, I got like a bunch of emails kind of like explaining where we were at, so, but I said I would go, so I went, and and then I got like all these people from like NBC and like asking to talk. I thought it was really weird. Anyway, I just thought it's normal and human to be frustrated, so we were frustrated, and that's what we do. We talk about it and what can we do, and so I just said, the government moves slow. That's frustrating. And I don't remember everything I said. I have it written down if you'd like to know. Oh, maybe. I might have deleted it. I think something to the effect that I think it would benefit us if you gave us a specific task that we can accomplish in 2020, or dissolve us until you have something. And that was my request. And
Good request.
yeah, I guess that's I didn't know. Then they asked my brain lawyer. He was just sitting there.
Aaron?
Yeah, and a couple other staff members to update on the app. They did that and moved past it. And I get it. Council meetings last forever. There's a lot on the agenda. I already knew all those answers, and I'm sure that they did too, because I'm sure they are privy to the same emails. It's early for me. I'm sure there was more I should have or could have said, but you know, I'm a musician. Anything before 10, my brain is on slow sludge pace. So, but yeah, that was my request. I haven't heard since then. And then when you asked about having a meeting or not, I thought, well, we might as well.
I don't. I know that as a committee, you have the ability to decide that you're going to meet every other month. You know, you have that ability to do that. So, you know, if that's something you all decide, you can. Or we can meet every month like we've been doing. And, I mean, again, we're talking about the PIO starting in April. We're already in the February meeting. So the next is March, right?
Yep.
The PIO will start in April. We're looking at the mural ordinance coming in March or April. So, I mean, some of these things should be moving along within the next few months.
I mean, I don't think it would hurt for us to do April if nothing's going to really happen until April, you know. And then if at that point it feels like we have a lot going on, we can say, okay, we can do what we want every month, every other month. And
Well, I think we do have one issue, and that's the statutes. Either we put some kind of a proposal together for the council to look at, accept or reject, or we take it off the agenda. I mean, so how we accomplish that, I'm not really sure, but
yeah, well,
that's something that we,
are statues in the War Memorial in a similar place? War Memorial maybe was.
Okay, we had a joint meeting with PORCAP and then they were here, at the planning meeting on Thursday, wasn't that Thursday they were here? And gave their synopsis of what their drawings were gonna be, and nothing was mentioned about the Moore Memorial in them drawings. So naturally, I got a little excited, and when they got ready to leave, it wasn't over yet, but they were leaving, so I followed him out the door, introduced myself, and told him that for 3 years I've been working on War Memorial, or, I'm sorry, I'll take that, I'm sorry, I did forget. Rexanne did say something about it, that she didn't think it should be called a war, because it need. And we're also wanting to integrate a war memorial. Rexanne said, well, I don't like the word memorial. She feels like would be a better term, is her quote. Okay, so that's to correct my statement there. But then I went out with him, and I showed him some ideas on my phone that we had been accumulating about it. And this gentleman was excited about it. He said, oh, yeah, that would be easy to do. And I said, you know how easy it'd be to do is to put it up before all these guys die. And I was dead serious, because I told him about Murphy's dad and his age, and he was a beach resident, and he was World War II. And it would be great to see that dedicated while he's still living.
Yeah.
And he'd be the one to pull it off. So he said that he would definitely take that in advisement. But he's this guy, I wish I could remember his name. A real good guy, clean cut. Everybody knew him. They was glad he was on this program, moving it forward. He talked about Bay Oaks and downtown and that, all three of them. But anyway, it's here and there. But yes, it's still on the forefront. And while I had the floor, this is the last thing on Jenny anyway, so I really don't, I'm not in favor of every other month meeting. If we only show up and sit here and had the sandpaper and the observer here and say, we are CRAB, we work by the direction of the town council, we are volunteers, and we are appointed to this job. It's not an elected position, so everything is volunteer, and we're here to serve the town. What do you want us to do?
That again?
I said, we serve the town, the people of the town.
Right.
Town council appoints us. And we've been appointed a job, but we have no job. So they need to give us something that we can work on and diligently stay active in it month after month for 12 months out of the year. Otherwise, when I've served on committees where you meet every other month. You meet every quarter. And before you know it, people get, well, why am I wasting my time?
Well, I mean, I don't disagree if there's something to be done. The only reason I would say every other is because a lot of the things on our agenda, statues, we gotta put something together, murals, that ordinance won't be ready until April. The PIO might not be here till April. So all of the things that we discuss are typically, are right now not ready for us. So, I mean.
With the exception
With
of
the-
statutes. Either we,
What do we do?
I had a little different verbiage I was
Yeah,
thinking
I
of.
know.
but-
I mean, I don't know exactly what Bill had in mind, but I mean, from my point of view, there should be a brief synopsis of what we're recommending, and then visual aids to show what we're recommending. And if we can't come up with that, then it needs to be taken off the
Yeah.
agenda.
won't meet again until April, and then at that April meeting, we can kind of determine what the scoop is, because we'll have other things in, you know, as far as the murals and whatever. I know that the statues, Bill did a bunch of investigation on them, and there was a bunch of pictures of them done, but I believe the issue was also to do with the pricing.
Well, can we?
It all boiled down to the changing of Old St. Carlos, Main Street, what do you want to call it? In that Bay Park. And that's when everything got lumped into one thing, because I came up with the War Memorial.
Right.
Separately.
Yeah.
Forever,
It
but I read it in the agenda, like,
exactly.
5 years ago.
Right.
Yeah.
Right, and we had good push for it, but then somebody else says, well, we need to, if we're gonna do that, it's time to just do the whole street. And I said, fine, let's do it, but I didn't know it was gonna
Okay.
take this long.
And last I heard about it, there was some kind of presentation about what they were doing with it, but it wasn't looking for any input. It
So-
was a presentation of, this is what we're doing, really, everybody have a nice day, hasta luego.
When the statues started on the agenda, were they for that Bayfront property or a separate thing? Do you remember?
I
think that was
wasn't
pre-me,
sure,
yeah.
but I believe Bill's intent was just various places
Yeah.
around the
Like
island.
art around the
And the example that I had come up with, and for anyone that goes downtown, Fort Myers,
Yeah.
they contracted with an artist who made all these different,
I love this.
some of which a lot of people didn't care for, but they're still around. They move them.
Makes for good advertisement.
Years ago, they contracted with an crafted a big, like a wheel out of stone, and it cost the town or the city, I don't know, 50 or 60,000, and people were like, "Where's the art in this?" And of course, so there's a big gamble.
Yeah.
And I think that that's the kind of thing that would enhance public art on the beach. But
Yeah.
I think this island is so diverse that I think it would be hard to get 5 people on this council to agree to spend $25,000, $30,000 to hire an artist and display art out on the island. But I think that's what they had in mind. Bill had in mind, I
Yeah.
believe.
I think I remember him showing like little
Well, we
tiny
need to-
statues
Right.
too, right?
Like
these
little
guys
birds.
everywhere, and that was really cool. I'm down to wait till April if you want, but if we're gonna wait till April, we still should come ready with something.
Date of our next meeting in March.
agenda, a community situation, what it's gonna look like, and start developing that. That's me. It doesn't mean I'm right. I just, I think that in the short time we've been here, when we had like one thing to do, like the leadership conference, we did it and we did it well. Because it was, hey, here's this one thing, let's give it a whirl. And I think it might benefit us to pick something that we all can get behind. Goal, and then when that's done, put murals back on, and when that's done, put statues back on. But if you guys don't want to do that, I mean, it's a committee for a reason. Two.
Okay, what I would like to see done, okay, as a member of CRAB, and we were given this by council, War Memorial was given to us, but our memorial or honor of. I would like to see us go forward with that, if it's only on one thing on the agenda, to, because we went to the council to ask for guidance for pricing and design, and then that's when they said they're hiring this new architect and all that to revamp all that down there. Well, they never told us not to stop going after this. So why don't we bring our designs and find the support that was pledged 2 years ago on payment that the town would not have to pay. Though if there's not but one thing that lightened the gentleman's eyes that I talked to on the designer, I said, and I was very confident in what I said. I said that if you would get this thing off the road with that memorial, starting it at the end instead of ending at the end, let that be the beginning, that it won't cost the town to erect that, because the money is going to come from the veterans, from the Moose Lodge, from the American Legion, from Wishing Posts. All those will be jump in line to give to that and raise money for it. And people, the businesses even want it. I mean, I've been talking about it, okay? Yeah. And if I don't get anything done before I get 100, I want to see that done here. I want to see it through.
Well,
Is anybody interested in it or not?
we've got 3 renovation type projects in the works. Shouldn't it just be that?
Yes.
The downtown area, the Bayside and Bay Oak.
How does
And
it,
it's just a matter of town council directing the architect to include it. You get a statement of work, you give that to the architect, and here's what we want you to do. I don't know, I don't know much about how things work, but
okay, let me ask this then. As CRAB members, and we've been given this task by council, can we not request that party who is in charge of that design to come and let us report to them our findings? Is that called BORCAB? That group called that, is that just for Bay Oaks, BORCAB?
That's Bay Oaks.
But it's the same ones that's doing all 3 renovations. That design group, because the same ones gave the same report on all 3 things.
I don't know about a committee necessarily being in charge of the design group. I mean,
Not a committee, the actual designers.
right, I know who the designers are.
Okay, all right.
So, I mean, that I'm aware of, but I guess I'm not following.
As a member of CRAB, I would like to see the people in charge of designing come before us so that we can give them our ideas to communicate to town council. That way we know it's moving forward.
Is that allowed?
I can discuss that with Roger.
Be out of line, I don't know.
as a point of information,
Yes,
where are we? Are these contract to do.
Actually bringing that before council in the next meeting.
So,
Yes.
but probably will. I think, Forrest, you go to council and ask them that they include this memorial in the
I'll be at the next
final
meeting.
package. Architect.
Okay.
And, you know, they'll come up, that's what they do for a living. They may say, well, we'll put a plaque in this corner, or maybe they'll say, we'll have a big thing like this monument here. There's different, there'll be cost, of course, and, I don't know, I think we're beating a dead horse again. That's what I
But
think.
maybe that is the first step before we take it on as our only thing. Go to this meeting and.
Maybe you get, a lot of your cohorts that you mentioned at the
Yeah.
VFW, stack the deck in the, I don't know, I don't have a lot of patience with just doing the same thing over and over again. What they say the definition of insanity is? Doing the same thing over again, expecting a different result.
So,
Well, I think I'm gonna make a motion
okay.
that we determine which council meeting will address the funding. The council at that time in an attempt to influence them to include the memorial in one of the 3 design packages.
So that would be that someone goes, your motion and that
That-
someone goes to. talk
Yeah,
about
that
the
could be
memorial
you
this
as
next.
chairman, or you could delegate Forrest.
I definitely would think should be Forrest, because they know he's been talking about it. But as a CRAB member, I think it's important, you know.
Yeah, for crap.
Is that something we're allowed to do, Christie, as we make that motion? Absolutely. Yeah? I second it.
Aye.
Aye. There's our motion. Yeah, so, and then, even if we're not here, we can see what they have to say, and hopefully, I'm allowed to send an email, I believe, with Christie included, with all of us to council to say, have you considered this? And get an answer after he meets. So I think that might benefit that too, like, hey, I know Forrest came, blah, blah, blah. Let us know.
What agenda are you going on? Which council meeting are you going
The
on?
one where they're discussing the plan.
Okay,
It's about.
so you're gonna wanna go to the February 18th?
Are they gonna address the funding at February 18th meeting?
Okay, because we were getting it on the agenda today.
I think that we,
Well, this would be the Monday before. I can double check with Chelsea, but I believe that that would be,
I just know that there's gonna be about half of the southern end of the island here for that meeting, so. To the Gulf,
Out into.
that's been moved to the 18th.
But hush. I'm just like, I don't know.
No.
Okay, that's not on our agenda, so we're gonna move right past that. Okay,
Well, so barring some other information,
yeah,
Forrest is gonna go to the 18th meeting
yeah.
and ask that the projects that's going on.
Yeah.
I will say, if we can't get it on the agenda as a CRAB committee, I will go on it. I only get 3 minutes, but I can say a lot in 3 minutes.
You have a spot, there's a spot for you to speak as a CRAB
That's what I
committee
thought.
person. And so I think that would be the request.
Okay,
You know, can this be our agenda? Can this be, add this to the thing, blah,
Yeah.
blah, blah.
great.
It's something we've discussed, I'd like you to consider A, B, and C, and we can go from there. Maybe based on what you get. Oh, so here's the next question. Based on his response, do we want to have a meeting in March or do you want to wait till April? Because I don't disagree that if we want to do something with the statues, that we need to have a meeting. At the same time, it's waited all this time. It will wait again if we're not certain that we have something real and tangible to discuss.
I vote to go to April and then determine how we're going forward on there once we get the information. You know, about the, status of the war memorial. I think we take the map off, the app off, the brochures off, probably the murals off because it's such a legal battle stuff right now. And then decide what we're doing with the statues and the war memorial. And if there's something else that's possibly on our that council wants us to do. That's my opinion, but we wait until April unless Forrest gets a great, response and whatever, and we're like all gung ho and we decide to do March, but, and I'd love to hear that one, be the case, but, I'm not sure that that's gonna happen, so I would say, let's do the next meeting in April.
Got a motion?
Yeah, you make a motion?
Yes.
Motion.
The motion is that we skip the scheduled March CRAB meeting and recommence at the April scheduled CRAB meeting, and then determine the frequency of our meetings and projects which town council and the community want this committee to work on.
I second it.
I'll second. Okay. Any other items for discussion since we're gonna, all in favor? Aye, sorry.
All opposed?
Wait, hello? That was all of you. Unanimous. Motion passes unanimously. Any other items for discussion since we are sort of on hold here? I don't have any.
I have just a comment, and that was, I appreciate our chairperson pinpointing the council. We need a direction to go forward on.
Thank you. Anybody else? You got anything?
I do.
Of course you don't, but let me the hell out of here. All right, there's no public comment. Can we hold off on setting our agenda based on this meeting?
Absolutely.
Okay, so we'll worry about that as it draws closer and after you talk. So,
Roll call real quick for me?
roll call, yeah.
Forrest Kritzer, here.
Becky Weber here.
Gina Stockton here.
Norbert Demars here.
Can you just state record that Bill Veach was excused?
State for the record that Bill Veach was excused. I don't know how to do that.
And
And Ivan, hopefully he's okay. We're not sure. We'll find out,
he's excused.
but he's excused. We excuse him. This is a sweet little nugget of a man. All right, I make a motion to adjourn this meeting.
I second the motion.
All right, all in favor?
Aye. Peace out. Be good.
Yeah, you know,
Good job.
my
good
mush
job.
brain does not.
Hey, people, but I hope I'm not here for the April meeting.
Well, the good news is